Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in here. Boom, Murder Church on a Thursday night, episode 2, Deuce, Charlie Adelson's trial. Looks like Donna's opening statements will be starting tomorrow. They finally seated a jury. But we're going to be getting into the defense opening from 2023 with Charlie Adelson. What is Dan Rashbaum going to bring to the table after the opening statements from the prosecution that we saw on Tuesday night from Sarah Dugan? It's going to be interesting. Take a seat, get some snacks, hit the like button if you will. Give it a share on any socials and any Discords you may have access to that allow such a thing. And let's rock and roll.
Let's rock.
Boom, we've made it, everybody. All you fine, beautiful people in the chat. I appreciate y'all for coming through here tonight. Hell yes, we've made it to episode 2 of old Charlie Adelson here. Again, as his mother is about to start off officially, really officially tomorrow. We got a jury seated, so really excited about it. But tonight we're going to be looking at, again, from the 2023 trial, the defense. We're going to be going through about 50 minutes of this. That's about how long it lasts. I'm going to give a shout out to the trial channel. If you're not following them, give them a follow because they're fucking awesome. That's who I'm using here. They're cool on X as well and allowing me to do this. I told them I'd give them a shout out. All the fine folks in the chat right now, thank you very much. Wildside out here, Bluebird in here, Ola's coming through, Jersey Jen, who won the last will on Tuesday. Love it, love it. And here's just another, just a crazy Jen following up behind her. Thank you for coming in here, and I hope that you're having a fantastic night. Kai coming through here. Teresa in the house. Carrie in the house. All the beautiful people in here tonight. Hell yeah. Gamby's coming through. Good to see you, Gamby's. Hope you're having a good night as well. Hopefully we're not working too hard. I know she works her ass off. Susan Lupo coming in, hitting the like button. Thank you so much, Susan. I love you very much. Kraken popping in. What's up, Kraken? Thanks for popping in here tonight. Appreciate that. Holly Berry in the house. Hell yeah. This is good to see. A lot of fine folks out here. Bluebird's coming through also with the hearts, saying hey guys to everyone. She's always super awesome. See if she can take that number 1 spot in the chat here. I see Just a Crazy Jen has it right now. Number 2 is Wildside and number 3 is Kai. Bassett Page coming through here. Absolute G around these parts here in Murder Church. Hope I'm not missing anybody. Uh-oh, right here. True Crime Butterfly coming through here also. One of my favorites. Bells. That's the bells right there, because I still have not actually got official bells anymore. Our bell broke. Our bell in the church has been on the fritz for quite some time now. Got to get somebody in here to look at this. Who else we got in here? Dude, Bluebird going to start us out hot with a $3 holla. Thank you so much, Bluebird. Going to get you on this wheel that we're currently building. You were the 4th name on here tonight, Bluebird. Hell yeah. Nice to see. Nice to see. Get you on here. 4th name on the wheel. There we go. The trial channel. Thank you again. Want to give a shout out to the trial channel. I'm using their playlist for the Charlie Adelson trial, and they've been really cool on X. They're always posting not multiple things from different trials, but they're also amping up for Donna, which starts again really with the openings in the morning. But the trial channel, make sure you give them a follow. And I'll actually put this link in the chat right now. And if you follow that link, give them a sub. Make sure you're subbed up over there. They're awesome folks. Doing some cool stuff. Jamie coming through here. What's up, dude? Everybody's coming through tonight. Love to see it. Everybody's getting amped up for Donna tomorrow, I think is what's going on. Yeah, right here. I couldn't hang in the silence at the defense diaries after the last break today. Glad they sat a jury. And I know Bob's going to be covering that tomorrow also. And Bob's sent a lot of fine folks in here after his stream today, which is really cool. Love Bob. Always been super kind to the man. Maybe my best friend in true crime. I would put Jay, which Jay doesn't really do true crime anymore, but Jay, Bob, a lot of really fine people out here though that are really good to us and nice to us. Jersey Jen coming through. What was the win on Tuesday? I could not be here. Yeah, it was the, you're going to be getting all the good stuff. You're going to be getting the magnets, the Hell Yeah magnets, the Murder Church magnet, also the Publicly Buzzed coaster, and also a classic pink Publicly Buzzed sticker as well, Jen. So I got you on the list for all of that, all the goodies. That's what is on the current will as well. So there we go. Hey, y'all, my hands aren't free, but I'm listening and appreciate you. No, thank you. Appreciate you, the trial channel. Good stuff. Good stuff. Here we go. Daria Lay. I feel like I just saw a bunch of you. Boom. Probably coming in from Defense Diaries. Thank you for coming over here. Appreciate it. Hopefully you dig what you get here. We try to have some fun over here while we watch these trials, even though they can get pretty intense. There we go, Bluebird, the So Awesome trial channel. I'm so stoked about this season of Murder Church. Oh, me too. Again, season 6 just started up. I can't believe we've made it this far, which is cool. And again, anybody would like to see any past seasons, go to the playlist section of Publicly Buzzed. And we have 5 previous seasons, and the last one, Phil Spector, went for 16 months. So, and there are people that go through that entire 60 months. I see the comments, which is fucking cool. It's so cool. There we go. Yeah, Kraken. That's right. Defense Diaries. Teleported everybody in here tonight. BGOG in the house. Damn, I'm loving this. Hell yeah. All the beautiful people have come through here tonight. Well, but without further ado, like I said, I'll be keeping you on everything. If anybody gets membered up in here, you'll get on a will. Any supers that come through, any kind of donations, I'll be keeping an eye on all that. But we are about to rock and roll right now. I'm going to put up Prison Charlie. I've got a couple of these right here. Boom! I made this one right here. Old Prison Charlie is going to get the limelight tonight for a little while here. I think I've got the sound ready to rock and roll. Again, Dan Rashbaum, I think I'm saying that correctly, delivering the defense opening statements. Let's go.
Do that much the last couple of days. My name is Dan Rashbaum.
Nailed it. Dan Rashbaum.
And with me is Kate Myers. And we represent Charlie Adelson. Now let me start by saying the obvious. The murder of Professor Markel was a tragedy. The world lost a brilliant legal mind. His family.
Oh yeah, I do have a couple of new emojis in there. I've got a Prison Charlie emoji in there, and I also put some books in there for the book club. A couple of new emojis. I took out the what did I take out? I don't remember what the book one. I know that I took out the Navy Grog, which is what Prison Charlie is taking up space for. But what was the books was the liquor drink. I took the liquor drink out because I really don't drink liquor anymore on stream. That was back when I used to drink Crown on here like regularly. But yeah, we got some new emojis in there, folks. Check those out if you're membered up over here. Gotta have the Prison Charlie emoji, the black eye and all.
Lost a son and a brother. This community lost its sense of security and lost a good citizen. And his 2 boys, the nephews of Charlie Adelson, lost a loving father. His senseless murder continues to be felt throughout this community and others. It was inexcusable, despicable, evil. But what I'm going to tell you today is what actually happened. You will see that Charlie Adelson had nothing to do with the murder of Professor Markel. You will see that the state cannot come close to meeting its burden. Why? Because Charlie Adelson is innocent. Now, I don't have to prove innocence. But what I'm telling you, I very rarely say in a courtroom.
Actually, since we got a few new people in here, including Daria, who's hanging out in here, first of all, I'm going to show this off. Boom! I've actually got a little plug here for the book club. Again, yeah, if you get in the book club, every Tuesday night after Murder Church, we gather immediately after the live Murder Church on YouTube for a members-only live stream where we read 2 chapters a week. Currently, we're reading The Stranger Beside Me. And if you're jumping in late, don't fret, because in the, if you become a member, you get access to all the previous member-only live streams, and I take pretty detailed notes about those chapters that we read, and then I talk about those and read my notes live on Tuesday, and we kind of discuss it in the chat a little bit. And right now we're about to go into chapters 34 and 35, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So we're getting close to the end of this book, but then we'll be going into a new book, of course, and we're gonna vote on that. I'll get some together. I'll get some ideas from the chat as well, and we'll figure out as a group what we want to do in the book club. But yeah, get in the book club. It'd be really cool to have some new members, new people in there, and I'd appreciate it. Boom. And if you do become a member, we have this right here, a physical will, which if I turn off my filter here, you can see a little better. A physical will that we spin once we get 12. I do it with donations. If you become a member, you would get on this will. There's no limit to the will. Supers, we also do donations through, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. But if you get on this will, once we reach 12 names, I spin this bad boy and I give away some goodies. I have a lot of cool stuff. Sometimes we do t-shirts. I have a publiclybuzz.com. I have a lot of really cool merch. But then also, of course, I give away stickers, magnets, and currently I've got coasters for your drinks. But yeah, get in there. That would be cool.
As a defense lawyer, Charlie Adelson is innocent.
Oh, just like that. Just real quick. I hate to keep pausing here, but just like that. Holly Berry gifted out a membership. Kai got that membership, so now Kai would have access to the book club, and that puts Holly Berry on on the list for the will, which we currently have 5 for. So as soon as we reach 12 names, that's when we get to spin, and somebody from the will that has been generous to me, I will get to be generous back to them. Excuse me, just had dinner, and give them some really cool stuff. So hell yeah. Thank you so much, Holly Berry. Appreciate that. Right there, Gamby said, let's get this will going. She says, I hate when my name isn't on the will. I need a coaster for work. And let me get Gamby's on here. Gamby's also an absolute beautiful person. Awesome. Always coming through here, supporting Publicly Buzz, supporting me. I couldn't thank you guys enough. I thank you so much. The will's a little janky. It's a little janky, but, it's a good will. It pulls out the winners. But, yeah, I appreciate the hell out of it, guys. Thank you all so freaking much for always being cool.
And we'll get there. But the next thing I'm going to tell you, I also rarely say in a courtroom. And you may be surprised to hear this from a defense lawyer. I have great respect for the prosecutors and law enforcement on this case. I have admiration for their efforts after the murder of Professor Marquette in trying to find out who did it. You will see that they spent countless man hours, cell phone tower dumps, surveillance videos from a boatload of places, buses,
opening right here, Kai.
Cameras on the street. Great law enforcement activity. And it paid off. They got the 3 killers.
Full of shit.
They convicted them. Sigfredo Garcia, convicted for life. Luis Rivera, Catherine Magbanua, convicted for life. The problem is, as you just heard, the state saw no connection between these people and Professor Marquette. So from the very outset, the state suspected the Adelsons, the family. You saw the chart. It wasn't limited to Charlie Adelson. Unindicted co-conspirators in this case, the state has said it, Wendy Adelson, Donna Adelson, Harvey Adelson. The state knew, as you heard, that Wendy Adelson and Professor Markel had gone through a brutal divorce. You're going to see it. But they couldn't find the connection. But then they had their aha moment. As you heard, they determined that at the time of the murder in 2014, Charlie Adelson was dating Catherine Magbanua. And they learned that Catherine Magbanua had a previous relationship, on again, off again, with Sigfredo Garcia.
Go Brooklyn.
They learned that Sigfredo Garcia and Catherine Magbanua shared 2 children together. They had their connection. The problem is, that's where the state began to guess, began to make assumptions. And you will see, we will show it, that those assumptions didn't make sense. Now, I love jigsaw puzzles. I've loved them since I'm young. The reason why I love them is because they only work if every piece fits. No matter what you do with the jigsaw puzzle, if a piece doesn't fit, it becomes a mess. You can't hammer it, and you can't ignore it. Because if you ignore it, you have holes in the puzzle. What you're going to see is, with regards to this case, that's exactly what the state tried to do. They heard things, they saw things, but there were problems. They couldn't fit all the pieces together under their theories. Their theories that they told you about today. I'm going to show you how those puzzles, those pieces, they didn't fit. They don't fit. And why? Respectfully, the state does not know what happened on July 18, 2014.
Imagine being this guy saying all of this, knowing what's coming in this trial, okay? I watched a lot of this trial with Jay when he watched it the first time around, so I mean, I'm not like a complete novice to this trial, but I haven't watched it all. I'm really excited about this season because we're going to be able to really, digest all of this, every single bit of it, and kind of talk about it as we go. But what we already know, a lot of the stuff that's coming down the line, come on, this is pretty crazy.
On that day, 2 crimes occurred. The first one, the state knows about, and that was the brutal, heinous murder of Professor Markel. The other one, they don't know about. They're about to find out, like you. Because that day would forever change Charlie Adelson's life. But before we get there, I like cliffhangers. It's important to give you some background and timeline of the events. Charlie Adelson
Welcome in here.
is 46 years old, single with a young son. He grew up in South Florida, in Coral Springs in Broward County. His father was a dentist, a local dentist. It wasn't the Adelson Institute when Charlie was growing up. It was a small dental practice with his dad. Charlie is the middle child of 3. He is very close with his parents. As they said, he is very close with his mom. Growing up, the family was middle class. And Charlie was not particularly close with either of his siblings. He grew closer with Wendy as they got older. He went to college at the University of Central Florida, went to dental school in South Florida, and then periodontic school. When he graduated as a periodontist, he had an idea. Rather than work in his own practice, he figured that he could travel around to dental practices all over South Florida. He would be a traveling periodontist. So what you are going to learn in this case is that Charlie Adelson had practices from the very south of South Florida to as far places as Jupiter. He's in the car sometime.
Okay, Jupiter, Florida, probably. I thought he was getting intergalactic for a second. I was like, whoa now, let's just pull her back a little bit.
For hours in a day. And he worked a lot. You're going to see that. He was a workaholic. He spent a lot of time in that car. And what did he do when he was in the car to pass the time? He spoke a lot on the phone. He would talk to whoever would listen to him. And you're going to see in this case, this is one thing we won't deny, Charlie Adelson likes to talk.
Thank you, True Crime Butterfly.
And he likes to repeat
On
himself.
that wheel, baby.
And who would he speak with the most? He'd speak with his girlfriend. He'd speak with his mom. He'd speak with his friends. Now, Wendy Adelson, who's a state witness, followed a different path. She went to a prestigious university in Boston. She then went to school in England on a Truman Fellowship, and later went to law school. She got scholarships for law school and college. Soon after starting law school, she met Dan Markel, and they fell in love. They got married. They ultimately moved to Tallahassee, where they both worked for FSU, Professor Markel as a law professor of the law school. Charlie Adelson didn't have much to do with either Professor Markel or Wendy during their marriage or before their marriage. He would talk to his sister periodically, maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks. They lived in Tallahassee for years. Charlie Adelson visited him in Tallahassee 2, maybe 3 times. Charlie loved his sister. He sought advice from her, as she did with him every once in a while. But they weren't super close. They were brother-sister. The truth is that Charlie Adelson was a little self-centered. He was building his career. See, that traveling periodontist, in the beginning it wasn't that successful. But by the time of this case, in the 2013-2014 time period, you're going to see that Charlie Adelson was making a lot of money.
So, life artist, welcome in.
His practice was booming. He was working 6, sometimes 7 days a week. You'll see it on the wires. You'll see it in text messages. He would start his day early in the morning, and most days he wouldn't get home till 8, 9, 10 at night. At the time when this murder occurred, he was not married. He had no kids. He had a lot of money. And he was living a very good life. Now, in 2012, Wendy Adelson, on a trip down to South Florida, confides in her brother that she was having problems in her marriage. She told Charlie that she and Professor Markel had been going through marriage counseling.
Jan, thank you so much.
She asked him what he thought. He said, look, I want you to be happy, but you have to do what's best for you. I'm here to listen.
8 on the wheel, 4 to go.
Charlie had no involvement whatsoever in Wendy's decision to divorce Professor Markel. You'll hear that. And in September of 2012, Wendy filed for divorce. And you're going to hear about how she filed for the divorce, and you're going to learn that Charlie had no involvement in her leaving the house. Had nothing to do with him. But we got to talk about TVs. And you're going to hear a lot about TVs in this case. Excuse me.
Yeah, why will we hear about TVs, Rashbaum?
See, Charlie has a really bad history of telling bad jokes. So when Wendy left the house, his mom told him that she didn't have a TV. He asked her, he said, what can I do to help Wendy? She's moved to a new place. She's left most of the stuff behind. What can I do to help? And his mom said, she didn't have a TV. He said, okay, when you go to Tallahassee, go to Best Buy, buy a TV for Wendy, and I'll pay you for it. And so Wendy got the TV, and she called Charlie. This is back in 2012. The murder's in 2014. And she thanked him for the TV, and he didn't say he looked into hiring a hitman. He joked, a bad joke, and he said it was cheaper than hiring a hitman. Now, not only was it a bad joke, but you're going to hear in this trial, Charlie repeated the joke. He repeated it a lot to a lot of people.
Do you hear what you're saying out loud, sir?
You're going to hear that he repeated.
Have you heard the one about the TV, but it's really a hitman? Have you heard that one? Stop me if you've heard it.
As late as
Wish I could do a good Seinfeld.
Of 2000.
Let me tell you about the time I bought a TV, but I could have bought a hitman.
14. So the man that they think hired a hitman is joking to others about hiring a hitman. Puzzle pieces. And you're going to learn why his repeating of that joke is going to be so important. I'm going to tell you in a little bit. Keep in the back of your mind. But let's first go back to the divorce. The divorce was bitter. It was emotional. Wendy Adelson and Professor Markel, they'd have good times. But when things were bad, they would fight about everything. And in January of 2013, Wendy Adelson filed a motion to relocate to South Florida with her 2 boys.
What's up? Surprise! Welcome in here.
That motion was opposed by Professor Markel. Now, what you're going to learn in this trial is that Wendy Adelson never thought that motion would be granted. Her lawyer told her that motion would never be granted. But she said, let's give it a shot. Charlie had very little to do with the motion. He knew she was filing it. He knew she didn't have much chance of getting it. and the motion was denied. When it was denied, it didn't change Charlie Adelson's life one bit. But unlike Charlie, his mom and dad were upset. They were upset because
welcome in.
Their daughter had a job opportunity in South Florida. She had no family support in Tallahassee, and they wanted her home. And you will see that Donna and Harvey Adelson are very involved in their children's lives. We won't run away from that.
Salty, welcome in.
You will see that Donna Adelson and Harvey came up with a lot of crazy ideas. I mean crazy ideas. You're going to see them. You've heard about some of them. When they show you those crazy ideas, take a look if any of them includes murder. Doesn't. Take a look at any of those crazy ideas include anything illegal. It doesn't. Take a look at if they're actually then go to lawyers to make sure that their ideas are legal. Murderers. You heard it. Unindicted co-conspirators going to lawyers to make sure that what they're offering is allowed. You're going to see that. But the ideas were crazy. You're going to read the emails, a lot of emotion. A mother-in-law, a grandmother with a lot of emotion. And you're going to see that Wendy Adelson, she rejected him.
Boom. Joshua getting on the wheel of death. Hell yeah. Low light getting on there. Appreciate it, man. Hell yeah. And then I see you in the chat here talking about you're going to be streaming live tomorrow. Hell yeah, dude. If you could send me the link on X in a message where we were talking, I can put it in the chat here. I think only mods can do it. If any mods could do it, I don't know exactly where that's happening, but if you can give me that link, I will share that out, man. Thank you.
She rejected the ideas. They were never presented to Dan Markell.
Thank you so much.
And then you're going to see that there was another idea. They have mentioned it in their opening, but they don't understand the importance of it. See, at one point in time, Donna Adelson and Harvey Adelson came with an idea to pay Professor Markell $1 million to allow their daughter to relocate. And they went to Charlie, who frankly by this point in time had more money than them. And they said, will you lend your sister $350,000? She'll pay you back or we'll pay you back. And he said, sure. And you're going to see that they presented this idea to Wendy Adelson. And the idea wasn't to take the boys out of Professor Markell's life. The idea was that with the $1 million, if Professor Markell agreed, he could live in South Florida and commute back and forth to Tallahassee. He could work out his schedule. He didn't teach every day of the week. He could work out his schedule so that he could still teach at the university
back in Seattle
and go back and forth. You're going to see that Wendy Adelson never made that offer. But it's very important. Like the joke, I want you to put it in the back of your mind for now. Let's fast forward to October 2013.
Let me get a drink. All this bullshit I'm spewing out of my face right now. Like, this is one of those, again, as many times I go off on defense attorneys, all the fucking time. I also understand a defense attorney and why you would need a defense attorney. And if I was in a situation like this, why I would want a defense attorney. But also, in this position, in this situation, when you've seen all the evidence that's against Charlie in this trial, and it's also going to be against Donna in her current trial, what? I mean, come on. Again, they deserve the representation, and they're going to get it. You know, that's their legal right. But good God.
October 2013, Charlie started dating Catherine Magbanua. We'll call her Katie. She was beautiful. She was smart. Like Charlie, she graduated from UCF. She was hardworking. He met her in one of the dental practices. At first, the relationship was casual. They wanted it that way.
Got that leg sweep.
Charlie particularly liked it,
I'm gonna follow
and liked
too.
Katie, because she had 2 children. He worked a lot. His priority was his job. And Katie didn't bother him a lot. He only saw her like once, maybe twice a week. That's what he liked. And she was smart. She was fun. And he treated her very well. And that was very different, you'll learn, from how she was treated previously. Now, you'll hear that he spent a lot of time with Katie over the months that they dated.
Absolutely.
And remember how I
cracking.
told you Charlie talks a lot and repeats himself a lot? Well, when they were together, he did just that. He talked about his day. He talked about what was going on in the world. He talked about his family, which, by the way, was
Thank
a
you for the
constant.
$3. I appreciate it. Just an update on the will. We're at 10 names right now. 2 away from a spin here tonight. Will we spin this bad boy and give away some more goodies? Thank you so much, Wildside.
Topic every single day. Because when Charlie's driving in the car, every morning for an hour to work and an hour home, sometimes longer, he talked to his mom on the phone. And when he talked to his mom on the phone, what would be a topic of heavy conversation quite frequently? Wendy's divorce. All the problems in the divorce. They told you that. They told you that in opening. And what would Charlie do? He would tell these things to his girlfriend. And what were some of the things he told her? Well, he told her about the $1 million offer. He told her that he could pay it in cash. She said, that's a lot of money. He said, no, I have it in cash. And I'm going to get it back.
Holly, thank you. One
He told her
away.
several times the joke.
$2. Thank you, Holly.
Over time, you're going to
One
see
name away.
through text messages that Katie wanted a deeper relationship. And you'll see that Charlie didn't want that. You'll also learn.
Real quick, one thing that is hilarious, for us, not for these people, but the call after the bump happens with the FBI when they basically trick Donna, right? The FBI agent runs up on Donna. We're going to see this in the trial, of course, and probably as well in Donna's trial. But when they walk up on her on the street and basically make it seem like that they're being extorted a little bit further for an extra $5,000 for something that they took care of for this family, and then she immediately calls Charlie. Oh my God, that conversation is crazy. It's hilarious because Donna is trying her damnedest not to say anything, and Charlie can't stop asking questions. Like, she keeps on saying, we'll talk in person, I need to see you in person, and he just cannot shut up. He cannot stop running his mouth. It's crazy. We're going to listen to some of that. And today I was in contact with Jack from Never a Truer Word, language expert, somebody that analyzes the language and words of people. I've had him on here many times before, and I'm going to figure out something for him to do with us. I was spitballing earlier with him and talking about maybe the Wendy interrogation, but he said that he did that with Jay once upon a time about a year ago, and I don't really want to have him doing something that he's already done, so I think I'm going to pick out one of these calls or something and then get him to break that down one Sunday after Murder Church. Boom! True Crime Butterfly finished out that wheel. Thank you so much, True Crime Butterfly. That gets you on there for another shot as well. Again, there is no limit on the wheel, folks. And that is a wheel right there. And then we've already got a new one already started by the beautiful and lovely Jersey Jen right there. Show our Steve some publicly buzzed love. Jen, thank you so much. That starts out a brand new wheel. A lot of fun folks. A lot of new folks in here tonight, which I appreciate as well. A lot of folks coming over from Defense Diaries. Again, Bob is a regular on this channel. Love Bob. Bob's one of my favorite humans, one of my favorite people. And he's a defense attorney. So I love Bob. Daria Lay, there you go, Daria. Real quick, you just now got yourself into the book club and on this wheel. Love it. And one thing, Daria, if you really do, start really rock and rolling and you love it over here, on Friday nights we have a really good time. So on Friday nights here on Publicly Buzzed, we do something called Feral Friday. 9 p.m. Eastern Time it'll start. I've got a special guest tomorrow. Every Friday I've pretty much got a guest. It's rare that I don't. I have a lot of guests from different channels. Tomorrow I have Mo from the channel Mo in the Deep End on here, and we're going to be watching Crybaby, the full movie. We watch full films on Feral Friday. I know sometimes we watch Cops. Lately we've been watching a lot of movies, especially this summer. And tomorrow night, the reason we're watching Crybaby is I had Mo on here a few weeks ago. We were talking about Kohberger. We were talking about Lori Vallow, and she did cover Lori Vallow pretty in-depthly, and she made the comparison of Lori Vallow to Hatchet Face from Crybaby. Anybody that knows what I'm talking about there, and if you don't, you'll see tomorrow exactly how that comparison is almost perfect. So yeah, tomorrow night we're going to start right here on YouTube at 9 p.m. Eastern Time with Feral Friday. And then we do go over to a website called kick.com/publiclybuzzed. And if you come through here tomorrow, I will get you over to that website, or at least I'll do my best to get you there. And we can then watch the full film. So again, welcome in here. And anytime we get a new member in here, like what just happened with Daria, we like to throw some beers, some hell yes, some murder churches, some effing oaths right there in the chat, folks. Thank you so much, Daria. I hope you enjoy it. Welcome in.
And the timeline is important. They meet in September. They start dating in October of 13. You're going to see that over time, it takes a couple months, Charlie starts to learn a little bit more about Katie's ex, Sigfredo Garcia. And what you're going to learn is that Charlie Adelson never meets Sigfredo Garcia officially, but by all accounts, he was not a good guy.
So we can spin that thing.
Violent. Long criminal history. Sigfredo Garcia and Katie had been high school boyfriend, girlfriend. And Katie was the love of Sigfredo's life. He lived for her. And you're going to see that Sigfredo Garcia hated Charlie Adelson. Puzzle pieces. So let me repeat it. You saw their chart. The shooter of Professor Markel, the man who murdered him, hated Charlie Adelson. According to them, his co-conspirator. And you're going to hear, not from our witnesses, from their own witnesses, that he wanted to kill Charlie Adelson. You're going to hear that in March of 2014, just 7 or 8 weeks before that first attempt of murder that they talk about, he tried to kill him. Puzzle pieces. You're also going to hear about a phone call on July 1, 2014. you're going to actually hear that July 1, 2014 call is how they found these guys. It's actually the craziest fact in this entire case, and there's a lot of crazy facts.
Got a will ready to go. Oh, there are a lot of crazy facts in this case.
You're going to hear that on July 1, 2014, Sigfredo Garcia made a call to the cell phone number of Harvey Adelson. It's the only call that helped investigators connect these folks to the Adelsons in the beginning. It actually broke the case. What they don't know, what you're going to see, it's in text messages. It's discussed on the wires. They don't know it because they don't understand it because they weren't there. Is that on July 1st, 2014, just 3 weeks or so after the first murder attempt. And by the way, just 17 days before the murder. Let me repeat that. The murder happens on July 18, 2014. On July 1st, 2014, Sigfredo Garcia tries to run Charlie off the road.
Jan, thank you. Rashy be rashy.
He threatens him.
I need to make an emoji. I need to make an emoji that is this rash bomb guy, like broken out in a rash. Maybe just like with a really red face. I don't know. Maybe I'll think of something like that. And if anybody else ever thinks about any funny emojis or anything dealing with a trial, hit me up with some of it, you know. I'm not saying I will do it for sure, but I'm always trying to spitball ideas. And if not everything also works in emoji form. Like sometimes it's hard to see, but we'll see what's up. This one's perfect.
And what you're going to hear is that on July 1, he's so upset that he calls the Adelson Institute. He doesn't realize that Charlie isn't the doctor at the Adelson Institute. He just comes in and out of the place. So he gets their voicemail machine. And you know how dentists are? They say in an emergency, call a cell phone number, take your call at home on the cell phone number. Well, he hears in an emergency, call Dr. Adelson at such and such number. He thinks he's calling Charlie Adelson, but he calls Harvey Adelson. And he calls him and he threatens him. He tells him, if you keep dating Katie, we're going to go mano y mano. I'm going to kill you. 17 days before, according to them, he conspired with this man to kill Professor Markel. Puzzle pieces.
With the judge back there. He's like,
what you're going to learn is that in the spring of 2014, it became apparent to Katie that her dreams of financial security with Charlie were not going to work out. You will learn that Katie heard the hitman joke. You will learn that she heard the $1 million offer and she got some ideas in her head. The state itself has called Catherine Magbanua the mastermind. And that's exactly what she was. So now, let's get to July 18th. I kept you waiting long enough.
Yeah, they're falling asleep. No Alan Jackson.
The June attempt didn't happen because Rivera didn't want to kill Dan Markel when his boys were around. See, what you're going to learn is during that June attempt, on June 4th, 5th, Professor Markel had custody of the boys. You're going to learn that Professor Markel and Wendy Adelson shared custody 50-50. But you're going to learn that the state thinks Wendy Adelson was involved with her brother in a murder for hire, and she chose for the killers to kill her ex-husband when he had custody of her kids. Puzzle pieces. So you're going to learn that Luis Rivera, who is a bad guy, he had some conscience somewhere. He didn't want to do it in front of the kids.
Nosy Rosie.
So they came back. By the way, on July 18th, who had custody of the kids when the murder actually happened? Professor Markel. You're going to hear he dropped them off at school. But this family who did this so that their grandchildren could be with them were going to risk for 2 hired hitmen to go up when he had custody of the kids. Puzzle pieces.
Let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and rock the wheel out here. I'm excited for some new folks to see the wheel in action as well. Again, thanks everyone for coming through. We've still got just about probably like 15 minutes left of Rashbaum here getting through his defense opening statement. But real quick, let's go ahead and spin one of these. Oh, let me turn off the green screen. It messes with the green parts on here, so hold on. Boom. There we go. All right. Good luck, everyone, on the wheel. Again, this is for the magnets, the coaster, and a sticker. Good luck, all of you fine, beautiful folks. Good luck. That's a good spin. Oh, shit. She's going backwards. Damn, who's that yellow? I can't even read that. What did I write there? Oh, that's True Crime Butterfly. And I do have terrible writing. That is horrible writing. You can kind of make it out, though. True Crime. I wrote True Crime. True Crime Butterfly with the win right there. Congratulations. True Crime Butterfly has some good luck on the wheel also. She needs to go buy a lottery ticket. Boom. Love it. True Crime Butterfly picking up some goodies. She's got a lot of stuff coming her way. I know she just got a shirt delivered, and I think she's got 2 helpings of goodies coming.
July 18th for Charlie starts his normal day.
Thank y'all so much.
He works. You're going to see he lives in Fort Lauderdale. Now, I don't know how many of you are familiar with South Florida, so I'm going to give you a little bit of geography lesson. He lives in Fort Lauderdale. That day, he's working in 2 offices, because he'd often work in 2 offices a day.
Oh.
He'd work in the morning at one place and the afternoon at another. So he's working in 2 offices. The first office he's working in, both of them actually, are in Jupiter, Florida. Now, if you're familiar with South Florida, Fort Lauderdale and Jupiter are not close.
Read it.
With South Florida traffic, in the morning, he was in the car for at least 2 hours. Now, he came home late that night, you're going to hear.
Yeah, they make fun of me pretty heavily for writing terribly. And now Holly can officially read my writing. She's been on here for too long.
So traffic was a little bit better.
There we go. Keep her going, Jen.
Thank
Thank you so much. Oh, okay. See, now we also have the kindest folks here in the Buzz Nation as well. Jersey Jen giving out $2, and she says, put Joshua Jackson on the wheel. And I got you. Low light, getting a spot on the wheel.
There is north of
Damn, oh my God, still not done. And put Just a Crazy Jen on the wheel also. There we go. Appreciate that. So here we go. Let's go low light. Getting him a spot on the wheel ski. And then also getting Just a Crazy Jen on there also, who is also a beautiful person. Been coming through here. She donates all the time. You guys are wild. Thank you so much.
When I drive up here and I hit Jupiter, I know I'm about a third of the way here. That's a good way to look at it. If you live in Fort Lauderdale, when you hit Jupiter, you're 1/3 done. He's in the car and he's talking on the phone. And you're going to see it. We're going to show you what the phone calls are about. He talks to his sister. Talks to his mom. Talks to his girlfriend. We'll talk to you about it. There are phone calls. You're going to see it. There are a lot of phone calls. And there are a lot of phone calls to his girlfriend. And there are a lot of phone calls to his mom.
Getting another spot, another shot. Thank you, Jen.
And he works in these two offices. Oh. And at around 6 o'clock, you'll see a text message that he's about to start a very long surgery, a big procedure. By the way, the text messages throughout the day are normal. Just after 7 p.m., he gets a call from his mom. And he's told that Professor Markel has been shot.
Nosy Rosie getting a spot.
He's upset. His first reaction is, Wendy and the boys okay?
Jen's crazy.
He's supposed to have dinner originally with a friend that night. But earlier in the day, that changes, and he's supposed to have dinner with Katie. And you're going to hear that Katie and him had gotten in a fight a couple days earlier about dinners. You'll hear it. And what you'll learn is after he finds out what happened, tells Katie he doesn't want to go to dinner. He leaves the office at around 8 o'clock in Jupiter. And you'll learn that Katie tells him she'll come to his house that night to comfort him. He shook up. Now, let me be clear. You're going to hear he wasn't close with Professor Markel. They weren't friends. They had nothing in common. But he shook up because someone he knew, the father of his nephews,
just his smug face, right?
had been shot.
It's a very punchable face. Let's just be real here. Charlie has a very punchable face.
When Katie arrived that night,
that's why he has a black eye down there.
Details of how she gets there, what she has to do to get there. It's not planned. You're going to see that. The state's going to put on that evidence. You're going to learn that she's scrambling to get a babysitter. You're going to learn, by the way, that Charlie had seen her for lunch the day before. So, if it's a murder for hire, why didn't she get the money then? Puzzle pieces. But you're going to learn that she gets there that night, sometime after 11. And when she gets there, she is frantic. She's upset. And he's scared because he's never seen her this way.
Boom.
And she sits him down.
Carrie on the wheel.
And she tells him something terrible has happened. She says that a friend of hers had shot Professor Markel. She tells him over and over that she had nothing to do with it. But these people, she was talking too much. And her friend and these people learn about the problems that his family was having with Professor Markel. They learned about the $1 million offer. And they got it in their minds to do this. As you can imagine, his life has just forever been altered. He asks, who are these people? She won't tell him. It's not safe for you to know. Screaming at her, she won't tell him. Charlie had a guess. You will hear in detail what happened that night. You will learn that Charlie Adelson was told if he didn't pay within the next 48 hours, he or one of his family members would be next. You will learn that Katie repeatedly said that she had nothing to do with it and acted distraught. You will hear how she said that she would help him. You will learn about the initial payment. It wasn't $100,000. It was more than $100,000. took out everything he had in his safe. You're going to learn about that. The state doesn't know it. It was more money. But you're going to learn he didn't have $333,000. So he had to pay every month. They don't know about that either. Payments every month. Does that sound like a murder for hire? Or does that sound like extortion? You're going to hear about these gifts. And you're going to learn that the gifts were just that. They were gifts. Because as time went on, he became more and more certain that Katie was not involved. He became more and more certain that she was helping him. And he wanted to keep her happy too because he needed her. He needed her help. And you will hear that the payments changed a couple months after the night of the extortion. 2 crimes. You'll hear that the payments changed and that Katie was put on the books of the Adelson Institute. Paper trail. They created a paper trail. Puzzles don't fit. Pieces of the puzzle don't fit. And you'll hear that in order to put her on the books, despite Katie telling him the night of July 18th, you can never talk about this with anyone. You can never talk on the phone about this. You can never talk about it in public. You can never talk about it anywhere. Because if they find out, they will kill you and your family. If they think the police are coming to you to talk to you, they will kill you. Look at what they did to Professor Markel. But you will hear that he told someone. He had to. He told his mom.
Tiff.
You'll learn that she was the bookkeeper for the Dental Institute. You'll learn why he had to tell her. You'll learn about those checks. They've never been able to understand why are they so sequential? Why are they back and forth? You'll learn why. They talk about the bump in 2016. What I like to call is the second extortion. What they don't realize is that their undercover operation was an extortion on an extortion. They don't know it. It's not their fault.
What is he trying to argue right now?
And we're going to go through the wires with you. We're going to go through Dolce Vita with you.
Yeah, they're going to find out that was the FBI, buddy. Like, what are you talking about?
And we're going to show you how they actually prove his innocence. We're going to show you how they are taken carefully. They're talking to him. He's talking about an extortion. They're happy if this bump is the police, because if it's the police, none of them are going to get killed. If it's a bad guy, they're in danger. If you do a murder with someone, the last person in the world you want this bump to be is the police.
Yo, Jessica.
Because it means they're onto you. Puzzle pieces.
All right, after giving that garbage, I don't even know I don't even know where he's going with that. Like, they're going to find out what the bump actually is. It sounds like he's trying to confuse them on that part before we even get there. And then he finishes with puzzle pieces. Like, what is happening right now? It's like he's I've got this aha moment. I've got him hook, line, and sinker. I'm reeling them in, baby.
Not
Cracking
from
getting
the
a
first
spot,
layer,
Jen.
she says,
You're unbelievable.
but from the second layer. I got goosebumps when she said it. It's one of my favorite lines in the recording. Not from the first layer, the first extortion, but from the second layer.
God, true crime coming through at the end. Gotcha. Thank you, guys. We got another will.
20 months later is the
We're going
bomb.
to get this
That's
going.
the
We'll finish
second layer
tonight's show
to Charlie Adelson at
with
that
another
point in
will.
time.
You beautiful, beautiful people. Jen, my God.
You will also see. And what's going to be weird about this case, ladies and gentlemen,
Well,
and you're going to start to see it today.
everything I say, basically.
Much of their case, I agree about. They're going to put witnesses up there. I'm not going to ask them one question. Some of their evidence is exactly the truth. It just doesn't prove a murder. The stapled money, it's his money. You will also see that Sigfredo Garcia was arrested on May 25, 2016. You will see that Luis Rivera was arrested on June 2nd, 2016. You will see that Catherine Magbanua was arrested on October 1, 2016. Guess who wasn't arrested? Charlie Adelson. He wasn't arrested for 6 more years. And what you're going to see is that they had the exact same evidence in 2016 against Charlie Adelson that they do today. The same liars. They talk about an enhanced Dolce Vita recording. You're going to get both recordings. You determine if you can hear anything better. See, the state's case against Charlie Adelson is a case of assumptions. It's a case of guesses. It was not brought until weeks before Katie Magbanua's trial. You can ask yourself why. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for your attention.
Sigfredo Alfredo. Can I get some breadsticks with my Sigfredo Alfredo, please?
I want to ask for your patience in this case. A man's life
Jan, thank you so
is in
much.
your hands. He's innocent.
Endless salad.
Send him home.
Oh, he's going home all right.
Thank you.
He's going to the big house. Look at him. Look at this fucking guy. All right. We have made it through the opening statements, my friends. Again, if you're not following the True Crime channel, please do so. I'll put the link in here one more time. They have been, first of all, cool enough to make a playlist in order with where we're at, because next we're going to be going into the 911 call, and James Geiger is going to be up here. So that's where we're going to be starting Sunday morning, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be starting Sunday morning, every Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We do Murder Church for a few hours, usually to about the afternoon. This is where we will be starting, and it looks like we're going to be able to get through a couple of these things. And this trial is not going to be nearly as long as the last trial, which was in real time 6 months, so don't fret there. We're going to be able to go into another trial without losing our minds and feeling like we're in purgatory. So I just thought it would be cool to do this trial alongside Donna's trial in real time, and, you know, we'll see how that plays out here, though. The Trial Channel. Did I say something else? I apologize if I did. The Trial Channel fucking rules. They're killing it out here. And they have a lot of subs too, 37K, which is dope. If I said something different there, I do apologize. But we have another wheel ready to rock and roll here tonight, folks. Again, tomorrow night, if you're not doing anything, come through for Feral Friday. We have a good time on here. I've got a really cool guest coming on, Mo, from the channel Mo in the Deep End. She is the real deal also, guys. She fucking rules. Every morning she's doing morning shows going over true crime from all over the planet, quite frankly. And then she also covers trials as well. And she's awesome. She's going to be coming through. But tomorrow night we're watching Crybaby, the film Crybaby, and we will be watching that over on Kick. But if you start your night here on YouTube with me, I will be able to get you to Kick fairly easy. So let's go. Good luck, everyone. Here we go. One more wheel for some goodies. Oh, that's a good spin. It's a good spin. Oh, shit. Kai picking up the win, dude. It's been a while since Kai's been on this wheel. Congratulations, Kai. A G around these parts, been around for a really long time, been super supportive, super cool. And let me get you in the winner circle so I do not forget. I've always got to get them down there. But again, you just won some magnets, a coaster for your drink, hey, maybe you're drinking some beers. Maybe you want to put that on something really cool that says Publicly Buzzed. Well, now you can. Dude, Jen, for coming through here tonight and being absolutely amazing. She basically made the second wheel all by herself. There were some other people on there, but holy cow. The kindest folks are here in the Buzz Nation. If this is your first time coming through the Buzz Nation, welcome in. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. Hit the like, sub up, hit the bell as well. That way when I do go live for future episodes of this or anything here on the channel, you will hopefully get notified and be able to jump right in. But the book club, again, if you're not in the book club, I know Daria Lay is going to be probably joining us hopefully this week for the first time. We're going into chapters 34 and 35 from The Stranger Beside Me, and we're about done with this book. We don't have much longer left. I would say maybe a few more weeks, maybe a month, maybe a little bit longer. I think we do 2 chapters a week, and there's like 10 more chapters left. It ain't going to be that long. So, and we'll be finding something else to read here shortly. So I love it. I love it. Everybody coming through. Simi Sharp, the best, coming through here. She got gifted out an entire collection of goodies here tonight as well. The best people. So yeah, please come back through here tomorrow, guys. Again, Fridays here at Publicly Buzzed, we take it easy. We don't go too... Yes, Johnny Depp, Crybaby. That is exactly what we're watching. I said True Crime Channel. My bad. My bad. The Trial Channel. I apologize. But I really appreciate you letting me use this and also for making the playlist. But yes, the movie Crybaby, John Waters' film with Johnny Depp, is going to be what we're watching in completion tomorrow. We're going to be watching the entire film. And again, if you've never watched a movie with Publicly Buzzed, we have a lot of fun while we watch it. There's a lot of pausing, a lot of storytelling. You never know what might happen on a Feral Friday. So the chat gets a little bit wild as well. And again, we have Mo, a very special guest, coming through here tomorrow, who is awesome. She's unbelievable. She's really cool. I think she's going to be doing big things in the community of true crime in general. And I'm happy to see somebody like her. I deal with, I've dealt with a lot of people in this space, and there's a lot of people that I probably rubbed wrong, and there's people that have rubbed me wrong because of the way they maybe do their content. I try to form the nicest people, and I have them on this show. And again, Bob sending folks in here earlier. Bob's been my friend now for over 2 years. Bob's awesome. The Fence Diaries, him and Allie are incredible friends to have in this space, and I really appreciate all the love that they showed to Publicly Buzzed. Nosy Rosie just started out a brand new wheel, so tomorrow we're going to be doing this all over again, and Nosy Rosie is going to be the #1 spot on that wheel. Thank you so much, Nosy Rosie. And Nosy Rosie's new around these parts too. She came in during the last 2 months of Phil Spector, and she's been super awesome. Really appreciate that, Nosy Rosie. Come on with a buck for me. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. The best. I'm calling it. I'm going to sell myself to pay Publicly Buzz's debt. Jen goes wild. Jen is absolutely insane. She's the best. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, Daria, come back through here tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll see if you also enjoy a Feral Friday. Friday gets a little wild. A little wild now. Just a little crazy. You never know what might happen on here. And one more time, let me do a plug here for Lowlight. Somebody that's been around these parts again fucking forever, dude. A really cool guy. He's got a live stream coming, and he's also got a channel that he's rocking on the YouTubes now. So get over there, give him some love, give him a follow. And I know he goes deep into the Delphi stuff, same as someone like Bob from Defense Diaries. I don't really get deep into the Delphi stuff myself. I do have a playlist and a section where I did some of that coverage, I think in late 23 with Bob. There's a lot of stuff on there. But, you know, I kind of backed away from it because it really is a lot. It's a lot mentally and emotionally. So I don't really touch much Delphi myself, but I know that Lowlight does, and I'm sure if you follow that channel, you're going to be getting a lot of really cool live streams and or videos from him. So, but hell yeah, Life Artist, looking forward to Cry Baby. Dude, John Waters is one of my favorite directors. I'm freaking excited about it. It's going to be cool, and I'm glad that we've got that together with Mo. So, hell yes, crack it. All right, everybody, thank you all so much. Love you too, Jen. And yeah, I also have another channel, Wrestle Plunge, on Sundays. We do live streams of wrestling, and if wrestling's not your thing, I get it. But I will say on the Wrestle Plunge channel, if you do check that out, in the video section, those are really real-life stories. They're backstage stories of real-life events, and some of them really touch on some true crime type of events. Some of them are pretty dark. So beware if you do go over into that area. And you can really tell why I do true crime if you go into my video section of wrestling, and you can see how I really have kind of merged those two together in the videos that I make in the wrestling section because they're pretty dark, they're pretty wild and pretty crazy. So, all right, everybody, tonight I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna let you go. I appreciate the hell out of it. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, come through. We're gonna have a good time. Let's go. Love you guys.
This verse, I think